Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here as an advisor from JP Morgan. My name is Mackenzie Whale, and I'm going to be talking to you about my recommendation of what you should do with your Flight Centre shares. I'll also be talking about how Flight Centre's DCF and relative valuations impact on whether you should sell, hold, or buy your Flight Centre shares. Lastly, I will discuss the current travel industry as a whole and Flight Centre as a whole company and compare the two. The company Flight Centre that I'll be discussing with you today is one of the biggest travel groups in the world. It has business operations in more than 23 countries. Additionally, Flight Centre has a massive company that is called Corporate Traveller under its conglomerate that networks throughout 90 countries around the world. It is the objective of Flight Centre to become the largest and most successful corporate traveller company by having business operations in more than 50 countries and 80,000 employees based around the world by the year 2035. As you can see from this table, my market capitalisation for Flight Centre is $3,468 million and the market cap is $2,270 million. This shows that Flight Centre is a very liquid company. So if they were to experience a downturn in the market, they would have the liquidity to ride it out. Also, the future forecast of Flight Centre is that revenue has been increasing from 2009 through the year 2022, as you can see in this table below. This shows reasoning as to why to buy Flight Centre shares, as they are forecast to have incrementally larger revenue growth over the next 4 years. However, the current stock price is $34.40 and the target price is $37. The PBT margin is falling below 1%, which isn't meeting the target of 2% that Flight Centre has set as a goal. This shows that targets aren't being met. Revenue margins have been falling due to online ticket sales and more competition within the travel industry, which has eroded the ability for Flight Centre to charge service fees. Regardless, that Flight Centre isn't meeting its growth targets, the stock price is currently lower than what it should be, according to JP Morgan, which regardless, it is recommended that the share is bought, reinforcing a major reason why Flight Centre should be bought is the positive earnings Corporate Traveller has shown in this financial year, to date in new growth areas such as the United States of America, which will increase revenue and market share as it is only currently 5%, has only 5% of the market share. Another reason to buy Flight Centre shares is due to the upgrade to the new GDS program, which is the Global Distribution System, which has caused a downturn in the Australian leisure business, but due to it now being complete, Flight Centre will now see rises in productivity, sales staff, which will have an advantageous effect on the numbers of Flight Centre. Also, Flight Centre Enterprise Bargaining Agreement has been ratified, which has changed the direction of the company back to cost cutting and growth of Flight Centre as a whole. Even though targets haven't been met regarding growth, the strong financial data and the company's leadership position in the market makes investing in Flight Centre desirable and opportunistic. At this current stage in time, the virus COVID-19 has caused a drop in confidence slightly within society, which has caused uncertainty for Flight Centre as a whole company. This is due to the fears that the virus may spread around the world and cause massive lockdowns as it has in China. Additionally, the increase in competitors and ease of booking online means decreases in sales, and scandals such as the 2018 underpay can also frighten off investors. A DCF valuation has been done in order to fund the value of investing in Flight Centre. To find the DCF, you fund the present value of the expected cash flows, discounted at a WACC of 8.5%, taking into account the terminal growth of 2%. As you can see from this slide, by finding firm value and value of equity, you can discover the value per share, which is $105.19. According to this valuation, Flight Centre is undervalued, as it trades at a share price of $34.40. Based on Flight Centre's FCFF, this information is useful for when deciding whether to buy, sell or hold Flight Centre shares. Because the stock is undervalued, it means the financial risk is reduced and profit is increased. This is a positive result when wanting to invest in a stock. Moving on to relative valuation. By comparing Flight Centre's financial data to that of the industry peers, a conclusion can be made as to whether to buy, hold, or sell Flight Centre shares. As we can see from high price to earnings ratios and earnings per share, the company is in a strong financial position wholly. The price of sales, dividends per share, profit before tax, and enterprise value are all indicating strong profits. Demand and stability. Competitors such as Expedia and Core Travel Management highlight industry averages. Flight Centre has the highest price to equity, suggesting a competitive advantage over its peers. Its earnings per share and price to sales is at the industry average. Its earnings per share would benefit from being slightly higher to remain the strongest competitor. Flight Centre should be bought based on the DCF and relative valuation analysis. This is because they are undervalued. I believe the additional reasons that I advise that you buy Flight Centre shares is due to the impact the coronavirus has had on the share price in bringing it slightly down. The recommendation is also solidified through the potential expansion opportunities Flight Centre have planned. Their leadership position in the industry, through buying this stock, it presents an opportunity to go long and make a less risky profit. In conclusion, through conducting valuations of relative and DCF and an intensive research on the current and future financial position of Flight Centre shares are undervalued and present an opportunity for active and passive investors. This concludes my stock pitch. I hope you invest in Flight Centre.